Hi everyone, I'm Colleen, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the reasons why I think college athletes should be paid. So I want everyone to imagine that you're working a full-time job. You're clocking in 40 plus hours a week, and at the end of the week you clock out and go ask your boss for your paycheck. His response is, your employment here is your paycheck. Well, this is how college athletes across the world are being treated today. First of all, they're full-time athletes. Secondly, they're also full-time students. These athletes bring in so much money to all of these universities, yet they don't see a dime. So first, I'm going to talk about how college athletes getting paid will provide income for them, considering they do not have time for a part-time job. As a college athlete, it's very hard to find a job that will work with you being a full-time athlete. According to ThemeCountry.com, college athletes are already limited at the amount of time they can practice a week to 20 hours, but students report that they often do much more. Some athletes are said to do up to 26 hours a week. Student athletes are working the equivalents of a part-time job, and some are working the equivalents of even a full-time job. College athletes are not just said to be athletes, they also have to juggle in their schooling and study time for all of their classes. If a student is to study the recommended 4 hours of each class, that's 50 hours a week, attending class and studying. With the amount of time college athletes practice and put in the amount of work that they have to do to attend class and study, they're averaging 90 hours a week. To say the least, college athletes have a very busy schedule, and it's very hard for them to work a job in the mix. If they got income from the college, it could also help benefit the families. According to Batana.org, families are often tasked with providing direct support for their student athletes to abide by current payment rules. Many student athletes are on a partial scholarship, or they could even be a walk-on, so it is up to the families to pay for the rest of the scholarships or the rest of the amount of money that the student has to pay to go to college. Players would also be able to afford to take care of themselves, like at things such as meals, and they might also even be able to send money back home, considering some students are from less fortunate families while others are from wealthier families. It could be a huge help in the long run. And lastly, I'll be talking about the NCAA. According to listland.com, the NCAA is an $11 billion industry. $11 billion is more than the annual revenue of the entire NBA. It should also be noted that this money is not evenly distributed. The higher-ranking D1 schools and the better schools get more money than the lower-ranking D1 schools and the lower-ranking lower-ranking schools. Even though they're the same division, they all do not get the same amount of money throughout their program. Yes, despite all this cash coming out, athletes see none of it. When the NCAA was first formed, they made sure that the athletes were not to get paid, and over a century later, the NCAA has changed tremendously. Although the NCAA pays its top executives million-dollar salaries, parents, students, and fans are there to watch their favorite sports team play. The fans are invested in the players, many of whom have started taking on becoming a professional player. Now that we've learned all the reasons as to why college athletes should get paid, let's all think about how much money is being taken from college athletes and how hard it is for them to manage being a full-time athlete and a student in one. When you consider the amount of money the NCAA makes from players, remember the number of the players that have families to help. Also, remember the NCAA is a billion-dollar association that doesn't pay their athletes, which is where they get their money from. Of course, it would be ridiculous to start paying an athlete the salary of Stephen Curry. However, making sure they have enough cash to take care of themselves ought to not be an issue for the NCAA, considering it gets so much cash in. By making a change in everything I have discussed today, you can help singular students from being misused by an association. Thank you.